Hey guys, welcome to my first vlog. My morning started off so early. My church has prayer chains. So this prayer chain is every Wednesday from 5 to 6 a.m. where we go to church and we pray. As you can see, I got to church and it was still pitch black. It's about a 30-minute drive from my house. But let me give you guys a life update. I was MIA for a while. Almost a month or even more than a month. I was off social media. I deleted everything. I wanted nothing to do with social media. My Instagram account is still deactivated up until this day. I was just so tired of doom scrolling and it was affecting my mental health. I realized that my anxiety was through the roof. I was constantly looking at other people's lives and forgetting to take care of my own. Meaning I was watching people clean their houses and I wasn't cleaning my own house. I was watching people get their life together and I was just kind of letting mine fall apart. And I was just like, wait, there's something wrong with the system. The math is not mathing. Why am I watching other people's lives and forgetting to live my own? The only thing I was really hesitant about letting go of was YouTube, because I was like, I'm gonna lose my YouTube fam. You guys have been through it with me, and I realized that even if I had to start all over again, I would be okay. I feel like I've been in a season where God has been stripping me from all my emotional crutches. For those of you who don't know, I'm married. I've been married for almost 3 years and counting. And about 3 months ago, he went through a really extreme career change that ended up on me being alone for the past 3 months. No, we're not separating. No, we're not getting divorced. But this new career involves vigorous training and it's time consuming, and he had to be relocated to a different state. It's all temporary. We will be reunited again in October, but that's a total of 6 months physically separated. It's been a pretty rough journey having to relearn how to live on my own. It was a really big adjustment, and I think that's also why I needed that social media break. But looking back and through the process, since I'm still going through it, I realized how necessary it was. I realized that my priorities were out of line and I wasn't spending time with God. If I'm being really honest right now with you guys, I was not spending time with God. I had forgotten my groove. I don't even know how to explain it. I couldn't find my rhythm with God. And having this time apart, I was forced to go into this spirit of intercession, praying for my husband, praying for me, praying for our house, praying for all these changes we were going through. And it's through those prayers of, anxiety and questioning that I found God again. I didn't realize how far I had strayed from the paths of the Lord, even while still being in church. And I remember exactly 2 years ago, I was living in our first house. I remember that the Lord spoke a word in my heart. Literally, I was brooming the house and mopping, and I felt the Holy Spirit say, "Get your house in order." And I was just like, what? It made no sense to me, but that word that he had spoken to my spirit kept reappearing in my mind. And only now, 2 years later, have I understood what it meant. I was constantly pouring into other people, pouring into ministry, pouring into my friends, that I wasn't pouring into my house. Yes, functionally, it was working and I thought that I was doing all the right things, but I was so consumed by the things that I had to do. I was like Mary in the story of Mary and Martha. Martha. I was like Martha, where I was on the go, do, but I was forgetting how to live in the moment. I was forgetting how to just be me. I got so caught up in everything that was going on that I even forgot who I was. I lost pieces of my identity. And looking back, I don't think that I actually lost them. I think that it was the Lord stripping me from those identities, because that's not who I was anymore. I've been living in the in-between. The in-between where you're not who you were, but you're also not who you're supposed to become yet. You're in that in-between. I've been in this process of growing, and in the midst of it all, the Lord stripped me from things that I held dear, including ministry. For those of you who don't know, I was part of the worship ministry my whole life. I've always enjoyed worship. I've always enjoyed serving others and ministering unto people and encouraging others. I feel like it's just built into my identity since the womb, literally. And this one thing that I held dear was taken away from me. And is worship wrong? No. Oh, Nicole, but why would God take that away from you? Because I was idolizing it. I was going to church and grabbing the microphone and singing and ministering unto people. But to be honest, I was being a hypocrite because I was pouring onto other people when I wasn't pouring into my own relationship with my husband or to the things that I needed to do. And I didn't realize it because I was consumed by pride. That is a big thing that the Lord has changed in me recently. I could not admit that I was a prideful person. I was consumed by pride 24/7. I always had my defenses up, and I would fall into this victim mindset like, oh, I don't have to change because this is who I am because people hurt me. And that's hard to admit because I was not a good person. I was good to the people around me, but I wasn't good to the people that were closest to me, if that makes sense. And because of pride, I always thought that it was other people who had to get better and not me. That person was the problem, but not me. Oh, but if that person changes, then I'll change. And I didn't realize that it was just a vicious cycle because I can't control what other people are going to do. If that person doesn't want to change, if that person doesn't want to be transformed, like that can't determine what I'm going to do with my life. And for a long time, I think for most of my marriage, to be very honest, I was the foolish woman. I was not the wise woman. And the Lord had to change that in me these past 3 months that I've been physically separated from my husband. I had to relearn my values. I had to relearn my morals. And honestly, I don't even know if it's relearning. I think that the Lord had to instill those things into me because I didn't really know what it meant. I grew up in a dysfunctional household. I grew up with my parents separated, and then my stepdad was my father figure, and then they got separated. I was in an emotionally and psychologically abusive home, and I didn't know how to cope with it. So I created a bunch of defense mechanisms that I thought were part of my identity, but I realized that they were just learned behaviors to defend myself. I had to defend myself growing up. I had to have that thick skin in order to keep going. That survival mode is what kept me going, but I didn't know that it was time to let go of that in order to step into God's new. And a lot of the times it's that transition that gets us because I needed to let go of that in order to step into what God was calling me to. I needed to let go of those defense mechanisms in order to truly allow myself to be loved. That's another thing. Growing up, I was always affectionate and also a huge people pleaser. It was a weird contradiction, okay? But I didn't know how to be loved. As soon as someone would try to show affection to me, or someone would say they love me, or someone would say they care about me, I could not believe it. I thought I believed it, but deep down, I never accepted that I could possibly be loved. And it was through my marriage that the Lord refined me, that the Lord sharpened me. You know, the word in Proverbs where it said iron sharpens iron. That's literally what it was, because they say that when you get married, that person becomes your mirror. And I saw the ugliest versions of myself throughout my marriage. And I've only been married for 3 years, okay? So I can only imagine all the other things that I'm going to see about myself. And recently I questioned God. I was like, God, if I hadn't got married, right, would I ever see these aspects of myself? Would I ever have allowed God to really show me who I was? If the Lord had not taken my ministry away, I wouldn't have realized that I was idolizing it. I was so focused on being a blessing to the people outside of my life that I wasn't being a blessing to those that were the closest to me. I was being selfish, I was being arrogant and ignorant, and those are the things that the Lord had to show me, because if He didn't, I would have never changed, because in my head, I was the perfect person that went through the bad life and had all these traumas, and that person just needed to love me for the way that I was. But despite all the things that I've been learning in my relationship and in my marriage, the Lord has also been teaching me outside of it. For those of you who also don't know, I have a master's degree in school counseling, and that was the career that I chose. but I realized that I chose it because I was scared of what I actually really wanted. Originally, I was on track to be a therapist, a licensed therapist, to do one-on-one therapy. But then I saw that school counseling was an easier and a faster track, so I opted for that, and I opted for working with children. And I kind of realized that I was running away from that part of my ministry too. I don't want to make everything about God, but I honestly do believe that everything is spiritual. And I know that God has a calling on my life to be a counselor to people, to encourage people, to advise people. And that was a way of me running from God. I was literally Jonah, and I feel like sometimes I still am because I don't want to do the hard part. I mean, who wants to do the hard part, And recently the Lord has been calling me to go back and finish what I started. Okay. Pause on the life update, because did you watch the movie The Last House? Dude, everything was so hyped about this movie. I had such high expectations, and then I watched it and I was like, wow, that was so disappointing. I'm not going to talk about it here because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched it and wants to watch it. But I was highly disappointed, okay? Something that I was also really slacking on was my health, like physical exercise. I've always been someone who's like super active, and I just altogether just stopped working out. I stopped caring for my health, like what I was eating and all that. And that's when I realized that there was also a problem because social media was just really consuming me. But I successfully created a new habit. I am now a running girly, okay? I can't run more than 2K. That's like 1.5 miles, but I'm building myself up, okay? And I've started cooking again and creating that healthy meal plan. You know what? I'm proud of myself, okay? I also tried Pilates. You know what? I don't think I have an accurate review at the moment, but it's really hard, okay? So if you've never tried Pilates, you do not get to call it an easy form of exercise because, bruh, it is not. on another note, I need to know, are you the type of person that you clean after you cook like a normal person? Or do you clean as you go? And I only say like a normal person because sometimes I feel like I'm psychotic, but like seeing dishes accumulate in the sink, it like irritates my soul. And I literally clean as I go, and my husband, he's always like you must be like sick, because who does that? Like, why do double the work? Because like you're cooking, which is work, and then you're cleaning, which is work, you know? And also, do you actually, you know what? I question myself, like, do you actually enjoy cooking, or do you just do it out of sheer, I can't talk, mere necessity? Because if you didn't have to cook, would you? I feel like I have my days where I like to cook, and then I have other days where I'm like, bro, I don't want to be doing this right now. But I've recently rediscovered my love for avocado. Like, I went through that avocado toast stage like years ago. You remember when that was like trending? Like, everyone's like avocado toast, and then like the eggs on top of the avocado toast. But like after that, I got sick of it, and only recently have I enjoyed avocados again. Also, apparently it's really good for your hair and nail health. And I really need to start working on that again, because my hair was like falling out because of stress, guys. But that multivitamin that I showed you in the beginning has done wonders. I swear. I've been taking it for like 30 days straight, and the new hair growth that I've had, like you can actually see it like on my scalp. I have to do another whole video of that. And then recently I incorporated the collagen just to like keep up with my hair, but also my skin, because I haven't really been getting all the vitamins that I need to because of endometriosis. I try to stay away from red meat. Like, I do have it, but not as often. I usually just eat chicken and fish, but red meat has a lot of vitamins and iron and all that good stuff. So I have to start incorporating that into my diet, but not in this video because, girl, I'm eating chicken, okay? I have been laying down for the past 4 hours, and I'm not ashamed of it. But I'm gonna end our vlog here because this is the plan for the rest of the day. It was just like a little self-care day, and I desperately needed some time to just shut off my mind. So I hope you enjoyed this little vlog. Let me know in the comments what you would want to see more of, whether it's more of my routine or tips on how I incorporate God into my routine. I just love creating content for you guys, and this is my first video back after a huge social media break that I want to make a video for you guys about, because it was truly enlightening. But yeah, you know how we end around here. Jesus loves you, and I do too.